next chapter of statistics, that is related to collection of data. Before that, we had discussed about definition of statistics, scope of statistics, then importance of statistics, and in the last we had discussed about limitations of statistics. So this is the second chapter of our syllabus, that is related to the collection of data, right? In this chapter we will discuss about types of data, then sources of data, meaning of surveys, census or complete enumeration, meaning of all these terms, sample survey, questionnaire, types of questions, open-minded versus close-ended, open-ended versus close-ended data, mode of data collection, pilot survey, methods of sampling, and important agencies which collect these data. Basically, students, data is of two types: primary data and secondary data. Primary data is that type of data which is collected by the investigator himself, and secondary data is that type of data which is already collected. The investigator just use this data. Such type of data is known as secondary data. Before going to the various methods to collect primary data, we will study about certain key terms. First is, what is a variable? A variable is that whose value changes. Here I have taken the example such as production of food grains per annum, temperature of a city, etc. They are represented by the letters X, Y or Z. These are variables. Here I want to tell you, there is a term that is known as constant. Constant is that whose value does not change. It remains constant. It remains fixed. अगर किसी की वैल्यू फिक्स रहती है तो उसे हम कांस्टेंट कहते हैं, और अगर वैल्यू चेंज होती है दैट इज़ नोन एज वेरिएबल. नेक्स्ट इज ऑब्जर्वेशन. Observation means the value of a variable. If the production is 200 quintals, it means 200 is an observation. The value of a variable is known as observation. Next term is data. Observations corresponding to different variables. Different variables के corresponding अगर हमें observations इकट्ठी शो करनी है, that is called data. Next is statistical investigation. Statistical investigation means search for information conducted by using statistical methods. Statistical investigation means to investigate, to search the information related to study. Whatsoever we are going to study, if we collect information related to that study, that is called statistical investigation. Next is investigator. Who is an investigator? Investigator is a person who conducts statistical investigation, who conducts surveys, who collects information. That person is known as investigator. Enumerator. Enumerator is a person who helps investigator in the collection of data. Investigator is a person who conducts investigation, and enumerator is a person who helps investigator in the collection of data. Respondent. Respondent is a person from whom statistical information is collected. If I want to collect data related to certain factory, related to the wages of certain workers in that factory, then the workers of that factory from whom I will collect the data will be the respondent. I will be the investigator. And if I am taking help of any person, let us suppose that if I am taking the help of manager or any other person of that factory, he will be called as enumerator. Then statistical unit. Statistical unit means the unit in which the investigation, the item of that investigation is measured, the items on which measurements are taken. Like if we are collecting the data related to wages of workers in a certain factory and the wages are measured in rupees, then rupees is a statistical unit. Then the items on which measurements are taken is called statistical unit. Next is population. Population is also known as universe in statistics. It means all the items under study. All the items under study is known as population. It means totality of the items under study. Sample. If we select a group from that whole population and study only that group, and on the basis of the information we obtain from that sample and from that group, that is known as sample. So sample is a group or section of the population from which information is to be obtained. Sometimes the size of population becomes very large. In that case it does not become possible, it becomes very time consuming, or it becomes very costly to study the whole population. In that case we can take a sample of that population from which information is to be obtained. That is called a sample. Like I gave you an example that when we go to a doctor and he wants to get our blood sample, then a sample of our blood is taken, and on the basis of that observation the whole information is obtained about the blood of our body, right? Next is good sample. Good sample is always smaller than the population and is capable of providing accurate information. If a sample is not able to provide us accurate information about the population, then that sample is not a good sample. A good sample must be less costlier, it should take lesser time, and moreover it should be able to provide accurate information about the population. Only then that sample is called as a good sample. Next, I told you that data is of two types, primary data and secondary data. Primary data, when the enumerator collects the data by conducting an inquiry or an investigation by himself. This type of data is first-hand information. The enumerator goes to each and every unit of the population and does the investigation and collect the data from those units of population. That type of data is known as primary data. For example, you have to inquire from a large number of school students by asking questions from them to collect the desired information. If we go to each and every student of the school and collect data related to their studies, then that type of data will be called primary data. This is the first hand information. Secondary data is that type of data which is already collected and processed by some other agency. It can be by the newspapers, it can be by the books, or it can be Economic Survey of India, or it can be by the World Bank Bulletin. It is already collected, the investigator just use that data, and it is based on second hand information. This is second hand information. The investigator himself does not collect such type of data. He just use that type of data according to his study. For example, information obtained from published sources. All the published sources are secondary data. Either it can be from the books, or it can be from the newspapers, it can be from the magazines or research papers or government reports. That type of data which is already published and the investigator is just using that type of data is known as secondary data. Next term is survey. Survey means it is a process with the help of which we collect information from individuals. So survey is a method of gathering information from individuals. You know that after every 10 years population survey is conducted in India. This survey is related to this survey the data related to population, death rate, birth rate, number of births in a family, literacy rate, etc. Such type of data is collected from each and every unit of the population. So survey is what? Survey is a method to collect information from individuals. The purpose is to collect data. Its basic purpose is to collect data, and there are two types of surveys which are conducted. There are two methods to survey. One is census survey and second is sample survey. As the diagram is showing, census survey means where each and every unit of the population is studied, where each and every unit of the population is studied. And sample survey means instead of studying each and every unit of the population, instead of investigating each and every unit of the population, we take a small sample, we take a small group and study only that group. That is called sample survey. And this sample survey is used where the size of population becomes very lengthy, and it becomes very time consuming, and it becomes very costlier. Then sample survey method is used. But if we want to get accurate data, then census survey is organized. Because in census survey in census survey method, it is less biased, and it is very much accurate. The information collected is very much accurate. But in the sample survey, it can be biased, and the information collected may not be correct, may not be accurate, may not be reliable. Then census or complete enumeration. Census or complete enumeration. A survey which includes every element of the population, that is census survey. In census survey, each and every element or each and every unit of the population is studied. Every individual unit in the entire population is studied. It is covered under census survey method. The example includes Census of India, which is carried out after every 10 years. This survey are carried for demographic data on birth, death and literacy. So this data in which whole population is studied, each and every element of the population is covered, such type of survey is known as census survey. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of census survey method? I already told you that the results are absolutely correct, accurate and reliable. The basic advantage of census survey method is that the results are absolutely correct, because each and every unit of the population is studied, and it is accurate and reliable. But at the same time, it is very time consuming, because we are studying each and every unit of the population. Every member of the population is studied in the census survey method. There are less chances of biasedness in census survey method. This is one of the basic advantage of census survey method, because it is less biased. Data related to each element is collected. No element is left in census survey method. Each and every element, whether it may be small or large, data related to each element is collected in the census method. And most I want to tell you that census survey method is used where we require 100% accuracy, where we require that the data should be 100% reliable and correct. Only in there we use this census survey method, right? Next, what are the advantages? I already told you it is time consuming, and it is energy consuming, and it is very costly, and it is suitable for certain specific cases. It is suitable for certain specific cases. For all the cases, we cannot use census survey method. There we can even use sampling method also. Large number of enumerators are required for collecting data, because we are studying each and every element of the population. So the number of enumerators should be very large. Only then we can complete such type of investigation. So in the census method, in the census survey method, large number of enumerators or investigators are required for collecting data. Next is sample survey. In this, a sample from the population is surveyed. In spite of taking each and every unit of the population, only a sample from the population is surveyed. So, in sample survey method, the first step is to get the sample. is to get the sample from that population. There are various methods to select the sample from the population that we will discuss in our next chapter, that is census and sampling method. So the first step is to select a sample to identify the population. Then that only that sample, the items that are covered under the sample, only those items are studied, and on the base of that study we give information related to the entire population. So in the sampling method, what are the advantages of this sampling method? It is less time consuming, it is not costly, and it is less energy consuming, less efforts are required, a small portion of population is studied in the sample survey method. But what are the disadvantages of this sample survey method? Partial investigation of the universe, because we are not investigating all the population, all the units of the population, we are taking only a small part of that population. It means that partial investigation of the universe is done. Next, sometimes the results are not accurate, are not reliable, and sometimes the results may be biased. कई बार biased भी होते हैं results, कई बार accurate नहीं होते, correct results हमारे पास नहीं आते. जहाँ पर हमें accuracy चाहिए, correct बहुत बढ़िया result चाहिए, बिल्कुल सही results चाहिए, biased नहीं होने चाहिए results, तो वहाँ पर हमें census method use करना चाहिए. It is a complicated process and difficult. Why it is complicated? Because if we have not selected any correct sample, we have not selected a sample which is correct, which is accurate, then the results obtained will not be correct, will not be accurate. So it is a complicated process and difficult process. Not easy to select a sample which represent whole population. Sometimes the sample does not represent the whole population. Sometimes the sample that we have selected to study does not represent the whole population, and then if we study that type of sample, the results will not be accurate, will not be correct. Right? There are various modes of data collection, that is of primary data. So first method is personal interviews. Personal interviews. In this method, the investigator conducts interviews with the respondent and obtain the required information. This is also known, there are two types of interviews which we can conduct to collect primary data. In this method, the interview is conducted by the investigator with the respondent, and he then obtain the required information related to study. Two types of interviews are direct personal interview. What is this direct personal interview? In this method, the investigator conducts face-to-face interview with respondent. If I want to collect data from you related to your marks in subject economics, and I conduct an interview with you, face-to-face interview with each and every student of your class, that is direct personal interview method to collect primary data. I am not getting the information from the second person or the person who is close to you. I am getting the information face-to-face by taking face-to-face interview with the respondent. Respondent are the students and investigator will be myself. That type of method is known as direct personal interview method. What are the advantages of this method? The data collected is never biased, and the data collected is accurate, reliable, correct information we can collect by using direct personal interview method. And what are the disadvantages of this method? It is very time consuming because we have to conduct face-to-face interview with each and every unit of the population with the respondents, and it is very time consuming and it is very costly method because we are conducting face-to-face interview with the respondents. So these are the drawbacks, or these are the disadvantages of direct personal interview method. But if we require unbiased data, and if we require correct information, and if we require this accurate information, then direct personal interview method goes very nicely. Next method is indirect personal interview method. In this method, interview is conducted but data is collected by interviewing third person. In place of interviewing you, if I take interview from your examination in charge or from the principal of the Vidyalaya or from the monitor of your class, who is directly or indirectly related to you, who is directly or indirectly close to you, concerned with you, then that is known as indirect personal interview method. Here also we are conducting interviews, but we are not conducting face to face interview with the respondent. We are conducting interview with a third person who is in contact with you directly or indirectly. Okay, data is collected by interviewing third person who are directly or indirectly concerned with the subject matter of inquiry. Subject matter of inquiry, here that example that I have taken, here the subject matter of inquiry means the marks obtained by the students in subject economics, and they are witness to the situation, and the person should be witness to the situation, and the data should be available to that person. And we are, instead of we are going to each and every respondent, we are, if we collect data from the examination in charge, that type of method is known as indirect personal interview method. And here what is the advantage of this method? It is not very much costly, not time consuming, and not energy consuming, right? But what is the disadvantage of this group? The data may be inaccurate, the data may be biased. It may be possible that the data we collect from the examination in charge or from the principal or from the third agency from where we are getting that data may be inaccurate, or it may be less correct, or it may be biased. So here such type of incidences may occur that the data may not be very much correct. Here I have taken the advantages and disadvantages of personal interview method. High degree of originality. If we apply personal interview method, there is the data that we will collect will be highly original. Information will be reliable. It is easy to administer because we ourselves are conducting that interview, so it is very much easy to administer. Elastic method, as necessary adjustments in the set of questions can be made. If we are conducting that interview by ourselves, it is very much possible that we can adjust the set of questions according to the study. Sometimes there are certain languages which are not known by a person, is not able to answer the questions in one language, then we can go for another language which is suitable to them. And at that time only, that is possible only if the investigators are we ourselves conducting personal interviews with face to face interviews with the respondent. What are the disadvantages? It is costly and time consuming because we are gathering information from each and every respondent. Cannot be used where area of study is very large. Where the area of study is very large, this such type of method cannot be used because it becomes very, very time consuming and costly. Highly prone to the personal biasedness. There may be personal biasedness in such type of data. It requires that the investigator is skilled and trained. This is very important. The investigator should be skilled, he should be trained. उसमें कुछ ऐसी क्वालिटीज़ होनी चाहिए दैट ही इज़ एबल टू कलेक्ट सच टाइप ऑफ डाटा. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि किसी ने आंसर नहीं दिया तो उसको गुस्सा आ गया, किसी ने क्वेश्चनियर नहीं भरा तो उसको गुस्सा आ गया. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. तो इन्वेस्टिगेटर शुड बी स्किल्ड एंड ट्रेंड. ही शुड नो अबाउट हाउ टू कलेक्ट डाटा. नेक्स्ट इज telephonic interviews. Telephonically we can also conduct interview. Instead of going to the respondent one and face to face conducting this interview, we can also conduct a telephonic interview. And what are the advantages of this telephonic interview method? It is cheaper and takes shorter time. It is cheaper because we can conduct the investigation by sitting even at our home, and at a particular place we can conduct the investigation. They allow researcher to assist respondents by clarifying questions, and we can assist the respondents We can help the respondents by clarifying them questions. It may be possible that the questions may not be clear to the respondents, and by telephonical method we can clarify them the questions and in their own language also. If they are not understanding our language, in their own language we can clarify those questions, and the accurate information can be collected. Helpful where respondents are reluctant to answer questions in personal interview. Sometimes if we take face to face interview, the respondents are not and does not feel easy to give answer to to these questions. They become reluctant, they don't want to answer certain questions. But if we conduct telephonic interview, it may be possible that they may answer those questions in which they were feeling reluctant, they were feeling uneasy. So this is one of the usefulness of this method. Next, what are the disadvantages? Abstract visual reactions. We cannot see the reaction on putting a question. If we are putting a question, what are their visual? We cannot visualize their reactions. Whether they are maybe possible that they are not feeling easy with that question. So it is not possible to visualize their reactions. Excludes the population who are not having telephone connection. But nowadays I think telephone connections are available to each and every person in our country. Most of the population is having telephone connections. But if a person is not having a telephone connection, we cannot use this method. So it excludes that proportion of population who are not having telephonic connection. So these are the two basic disadvantages of this method. Next is mailing questionnaire. Before discussing about this method, it is necessary to tell you what is a questionnaire. That we will discuss what is a questionnaire and how this questionnaire is prepared. Right? After that, we will discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of this